Most moments in life don't actually need to go anywhere. But somewhere along the way, it started to feel like they do. A conversation happens, and before it's even fully over, part of the mind is already holding on to it, replaying what was said, adjusting what could have been said differently, carrying a tone, a feeling, or a reaction forward into whatever comes next. And it doesn't feel like a choice. It just feels like part of being human. An emotion comes up, maybe something small, maybe something heavier, and instead of simply moving through and ending, it lingers. Not always loudly, sometimes just underneath everything else. Quiet, but still there, still being carried. Even the smallest things can follow. A look someone gave, a sentence that landed slightly off, something that didn't go exactly how expected. It all has this subtle way of continuing, not because it has to, but because it's being held. And most of the time, that holding is so normal that it's invisible. It feels like thinking about what just happened is necessary, like reviewing, processing, and carrying things forward is just how life works. But every once in a while, something different happens. A moment ends, and it actually ends. You finish a conversation, and there's nothing left behind. No replay, no extension, no mental version of it continuing in the background. You feel something, and it moves through completely, without leaving a trace that needs to be revisited later. You complete a task, and instead of mentally dragging it with you, it's just done. And in those moments, there's a kind of quiet simplicity that shows up. Nothing extra, nothing lingering, nothing waiting to be dealt with. Life just moves, not in a dramatic or heightened way, but in a very ordinary, clean way. And it can feel almost unfamiliar at first, because without that carryover, there's nothing to manage. There's no internal list of things to revisit, no emotional backlog quietly building. No sense that something from a few minutes ago is still shaping what's happening now. It's just this moment, and then the next, and then the next, each one complete on its own. And what's interesting is, this isn't something you create. It's not something you achieve through effort. It's not the result of practicing letting go better or trying to stay more present. It's simply what happens when nothing is being held in the first place. Because if something isn't being held, it doesn't need to be released. It ends on its own. A thought appears and disappears. A feeling rises and falls. An experience happens and completes. There's no continuation unless something is adding one. And that addition is subtle. It doesn't always look like effort. Sometimes it looks like harmless reflection. Sometimes it looks like staying aware. Sometimes it looks like just thinking things through. But even that can create a kind of extension that wasn't necessary. And when that extension isn't there, something shifts. Life starts to feel lighter, not because you made it lighter, but because nothing is accumulating. Moments aren't stacking on top of each other. They're just happening, one at a time, without being carried forward as unfinished pieces. And there's a kind of space in that, not a forced stillness. Not a quiet you have to maintain, just a natural openness between things. You might notice it in simple situations. Finishing a conversation and immediately being available for whatever comes next, without needing to process what just happened. Walking from one part of your day into another without dragging the previous part with you. Feeling something fully, and then noticing it's gone, without needing to check if it's really gone. It's subtle, but it changes everything. Because life stops feeling like something that builds up over time, and starts feeling like something that's constantly finishing. There's no accumulation of what just happened. There's no psychological momentum carrying forward. Each moment stands on its own. And without that buildup, there's nothing weighing down the next moment. Nothing shaping it unnecessarily. Nothing being projected onto it from before. It's just fresh. Not in a dramatic, everything is new kind of way. Just in a simple, unburdened way. And what becomes clear is that this has probably been happening more often than you realized. Moments have been ending cleanly. Experiences have been completing on their own. But something keeps picking them back up, turning them into something that continues. Something that needs to be understood, fixed, or carried. And once you start to notice that, even slightly, you begin to see the difference between a moment that ends and a moment that gets extended. You see how little is actually needed for life to move, how little needs to be held. How much of what feels like continuity is actually just repetition. And there's no need to fight that. No need to stop it. Just seeing it is enough. Because the seeing itself isn't something that carries over. It's just happening. right now, and then it's done, just like everything else. If this resonates, you don't have to do anything with it. But if you want to keep exploring this, you can stay with the channel.